But I guess regardless of how you feel about going green or any of that, I feel like one thing we can actually see with our eyes is the amount of waste we go through.
Yeah. Welcome to a wedding podcast with Katie and Stefan. We are back. Season 2. Episode 2. Back in action. And this is like a fun one to record.
Yeah.
We do these quite often throughout the year because basically what we're going to tell you is what everyone is saying. Everyone. I don't know how to say that.
All of our people in the
what
field.
all of our people in the field are saying are going to be the wedding trends of 2020. But the funny thing is, we will probably record another one within this season because in 3 months they'll all change.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah, when weddings start.
Yeah, when weddings start, they're going to be like, oh, those weren't the trends. Crap. We need new ones. It just seems like they're always changing, which just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So this is one Stefan actually wrote a blog on. So you'll see that on our Facebook page. We have it shared. But we both love it because we both like different trends. And I don't know, just there's certain ones that mean more to me than they do to Stefan. And it's evident in this episode normally.
For sure.
So anyway, so I guess the first one that I want to talk about, and I know it's on your list too, is green weddings. And people are thinking green.
Oh, yeah.
What color green? Emerald, lime. I don't know any other color. Hunter. Kelly green.
Forest
green. Olive green. Wow, that was pretty good. We came up with several.
Yep.
But no, it's more of like the sustainable style of weddings.
Like anybody goes green.
Going green, recycling. Yeah. And really the knot is actually calling it upcycling.
Okay.
So committing to zero waste, reduced carbon footprint, that is huge. And a lot of people are like, how do you have a sustainable wedding? You can reuse flowers. You can, source locally grown food is huge,
Which I thought that one was pretty cool. If you could do your wedding with local foods, like,
that'd be awesome.
How fun would that be?
Yeah, to say like, oh my gosh, that beef came from this farm that's 30 minutes down the road, or hey, that, I don't know, those carrots were grown in our backyard, or those are just kind of some fun, unique things. But, 2020 is all about sustainability regardless. Everybody needs to work on reducing their carbon footprint, whether it be, I'm not super good at this, so I'm kind of a horrible person to talk about it. I need to be better about this. But, I think in general, of course it's going to be a trend because it's a trend anywhere and everywhere.
When I just feel like, I guess with this topic, it could go many different directions. But I guess regardless of how you feel about going green or any of that, I feel like one thing we can actually see with our eyes is the amount of waste we go through.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
I think about just, going to St. Louis, for example. I remember as a kid, you'd come around that turn and on
big
I-70, and you would see
the dump, basically.
Well, at the time, it was just this little tiny mound. You could see all the arch. Yeah. Now, you go around that corner, and you see, like, the tip, like, the top.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of the arch.
Tiny.
Because the landfill has become
that's a better word than dump.
It's become a land mountain. But
yeah.
I feel like with weddings, this could be really interesting to see outside of flowers, because we've seen that for years around here, but it wasn't so much a sustainability thing. It was more of a
money situation.
You can save money by reusing your flowers, but I feel like there's so much that we could do that could make it pretty interesting, and add a unique flair. But one thing I kind of wrote about in my blog was just even looking at wedding vendors, who you're using, are they kind of practicing that same sustainability within their own business?
Yeah.
Because I, for example, receive a lot of cardboard from whenever I order prints and albums, and Altamont only recycles once a month, so our garage fills up rather quickly. So it is a bit of an inconvenience, but I like at least doing my part in that regard. And it's kind of fun now with kids, because Liam's all about throwing the cardboard in the
gotta make it a fun thing for the kiddos.
But yeah, I think just taking a look at your vendors, I don't think it has to be a deal breaker, but I mean, if sustainability is important on your wedding day, that might be something to look into with your wedding vendors. To
for sure
determine what you want to do. Now, I don't think you're going to find that Tesla limo to give
that
you.
Could be our next business venture, Stefan.
Couldn't imagine.
Elon Musk will try to throw a hammer at it and it'll go through the windows of a limo. But yeah, I like that one too. What's next on your list, Stefan? We'll alternate. Again, we make this up as we go.
One that I had that I really liked was bold colors.
So what colors do you feel like those would be?
Oh boy, I don't know names of colors.
But I mean like darker colors?
I think.
Or like bold, like as in neons?
Oh no, I don't think it'll so much be neons, but I think they'll be
like bolder pop. So like your wedding is a lot of ivory and greenery, but you use like a dark maroon to like really make it bold.
Yeah, or even like it wouldn't necessarily be a neon pink, but it would be a bright pink.
Yeah.
Or a bright red. And I love colors. I think you look around at a lot of restaurants and businesses as they start to update their brand.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are starting to incorporate these bold colors into where we kind of had kind of the modern minimalist look with the white, gray, black for a few years.
Yeah.
I feel like now we're
white, gray, and black are my three favorite colors.
Well, same here.
That's like all I wear, all I decorate with. Yeah.
But I feel like you're seeing a lot more like anybody who had colors as a part of their brand, those colors are becoming more vibrant.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Except for Taco Bell. Taco Bell got rid of their colors and they only have like purple. But it's still
Bell, step up your game. We love you.
It's a bold purple.
I love a Crunchwrap Supreme, okay?
I do kind of look forward to the day that the 90s color schemes come back.
Yeah, I think it's on the horizon.
I feel like
I feel it.
Yep.
One that I really like is micro weddings. So by micro weddings, they mean 40 people or less.
I like that.
I'll tell you, I love it. I've been in weddings. I've planned weddings that are hundreds of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it is sometimes your thing, and that is fine. I always joke. My brother, when he got married, had about 70 people at his wedding. So I always say my mom is waiting for me to meet Tim Tebow. Just kidding. And invite 750 people to my wedding. I just keep thinking, that's like always the joke. But the 40 people is so nice. 40 people or less. So to me, not only is it a money savings, it doesn't necessarily have to be though. Maybe you choose nicer food. Maybe you serve lobster. I don't know what your favorite things are.
Yeah.
You can spend a little bit more money on some of your rentals. Maybe instead of the white plastic chairs, you get to go with the gold chairs, Yep. Or maybe you go over the top with flowers. If you don't have a lot of bridesmaids, your bridal bouquet could be incredible because you have that extra budget to spend there. But then I also think, not just from a budget place, but just from an intimacy. I don't know if that's the right word to say, but you actually get to talk to all of the people that are at your wedding.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee the percentage for people that don't talk to every person at their wedding, I'm sure it is high.
Oh yeah. When you have like 500 or 600 people.
Well, there's no time anyway. It's not that you're doing that to be rude, but it's, you get there, you maybe eat, maybe you don't. And then it's, dances and photos and garter toss and just so much stuff that at the end of the day, it's like, oh, did Aunt Sally make it to our wedding? I don't know. She got us a gift. And you just don't get that. Weddings are about the couple. They're not about, they're not about the flowers and things like that. Granted, I love that stuff, so I encourage it. But I just think it gives you a little bit more of a memorable thing.
Yeah, I really like that. I think especially from the we can do nicer things perspective.
For sure.
Because you could get a little more adventurous with the food and 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 looking at it from a photography point of view, I mean your wedding could almost mimic that or it can have that look that it was this big production,
right? But
now it looks like it was very big,
right? Your cat wants to be my best friend. Sorry, buddy.
I knew he would either
slowly but surely
he would either want to be a friend or he would ignore us.
He would ignore us, yeah.
Yeah,
but I agree. I think micro weddings are the way to go. I am team micro weddings. Hashtag micro weddings. Like, let's do it.
Yep. We don't agree on a lot, but
well, yeah, we do. You'll notice that, for you new people that are just listening, Stefan and I do disagree kind of a lot, but that's what makes this fun, right? What's your next one, Stefan?
My next one, and it's interesting because I've seen this myself, is destination weddings. And
let the hallelujah chorus sing. I will plan your wedding wherever it is in not the United States, anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll plan it. Call me. I'll do it.
And I think at least whenever I got married, destination wedding meant go to the beach, get married on the beach, and that was that.
Not in 2020.
Oh, no. Destinations, I mean, it's almost like, I mean, the beach still happens a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's almost like these destinations of places that are either special or that you've always wanted to go and see.
Yeah.
I feel like you see a lot more landscape weddings. Whether in the US it's more kind of the mountainous look,
right,
or Grand Canyon look,
right,
or kind of the Iceland in the mountains.
Because Iceland technically isn't like ice.
Yeah. Kind of that's not America, but
right.
Even going to Hawaii and not doing the beach, but doing kind of the mountain part of
beautiful.
So yeah, these I am a huge fan of.
But I think that goes hand in hand with micro weddings because, you don't necessarily invite all those people. You maybe invite 50 people, and if they can afford to come and celebrate with you, then great. If they can't, see you when we come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even doing kind of the even more micro wedding.
Yeah.
But then coming back and having a small intimate gathering with those that are closest to you. And that I think even going back to micro weddings, I mean, if you're having that few people, that means even some of your family didn't get invited.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's be honest, like your cousins are probably coming out of obligation unless you have a close relationship with them.
Yeah.
But if you've not been in touch for years, but it's like, well, they're family. I mean, I feel like if that's your heart going into it.
Yeah.
Which they have the same heart.
Yeah. We will have a podcast this season. I'm making the decision right now about wedding guest lists. We definitely will because they're horrid and they're awful. And I tell people if you can get through that, you can get through anything.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Well, I like that.
Yeah. Coming soon.
Yeah. We won't go into that.
Coming soon.
That could easily.
But I love a destination wedding. And yes, I'd say the money is not necessarily a factor in this one because sometimes it can be more expensive, but sometimes it could be a lot less expensive. It just really depends on the destination and what you're expecting and, how many people you have and stuff like that. But I think it's so fun. I love it. And don't be discouraged that vendors that you like here won't come with you. Stefan travels. I would travel. I mean... don't let that hinder you either. But I love a destination wedding. And I think you made a good point when you said a destination wedding is not necessarily you're getting married on the beach of Florida. No, it could be anywhere.
For sure. Yeah. And get fun with it, you know? And I think it also doesn't have to be, hopping on an airplane and flying 12 hours away. I mean, drive 4 hours away.
Yeah.
6 hours, somewhere far enough that you have to stay the night.
Yeah. Make it a little wedding weekend. Yeah,
nobody's going to crash your wedding. But, depending on where you are, I mean, being in central Illinois, we're kind of 4 hours away doesn't really get you a whole lot more.
No.
But There is.
But it could. Stefan, I just came up with a brilliant idea. We should crash weddings.
Oh, that would be great.
You and I.
That would be awesome.
What up? Here we are.
Interview them in the middle of the first dance.
Yeah.
We're with a wedding podcast.
Yeah.
How's your wedding?
People would hate us. My next one that I want to share is something that's really out of my element. But I think it's a cool trend. So it is barrettes and combs, and that is in the hair. So yes, veils I think are always going to be trendy and always going to be a thing. Mm-hmm. But, you don't see as many of the like tiaras as much anymore. And you see more of just something simple pinned back with the hair, or just one of those kind of old fashioned vintage combs. Those are so modern and trendy right now. I just like that. I think it just adds a little simplicity. And then you'll probably respect this as a photographer, but when you take the veil off, because a lot of the times the girls wear it for the ceremony and some pictures and then take it off, you still have something pretty in your hair. Yeah. And I just think it adds a fun little, not a ton of discussion for this one, but I just think it adds a little something. I like it.
I feel like little details can add so much,
yes.
When they're done right. And that's, is, again, all my perspective is coming from photography.
Of course. I mean, it has to.
Yeah. I mean, those little details make for great pictures.
Yeah.
And, accent, making them kind of like a stand out in the pictures. Because a lot of times I feel like they even mean something, at least around here, because it's usually like a grandma's.
Yeah. Well, they say something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. That could be your old, or that could be your new, or your borrowed, or your blue. That could be, that could fall into any 4 of those categories. Yep. So I like that one though, personally.
Yeah, I do too. One that I saw that I thought really made sense, especially considering the median age of couples getting married today being a little bit higher.
I would say it's definitely risen.
It would be charitable donations.
I've seen this before. I think what you're gonna say,
but just kind of at the reception, instead of doing gifts, or your gift registry is kind of a donation or a charity
I like
registry. That. Because if you are, late 20s, in your 30s, and you've been living on your own, you probably got everything you need.
You don't need another KitchenAid mixer.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, you could always go and. That's a good chunk of change back, but you don't need another set of towels.
No, you don't need all that stuff.
You've probably got all that you need, and I feel like this, if there's anything that's kind of special to you, that's a way that your guests can get involved, and then your wedding day is kind of meaningful in that it's not only just a celebration of the two of you, but everybody got to participate in helping out this charity.
Yeah, absolutely. And it could be something local. It could be something that means something to your family. Mm-hmm. I've also seen people do that for their wedding favor. So instead of, people still brought gifts because they were a younger couple, but instead of offering a favor, we've talked about favors on the podcast before, but sometimes they're like a water bottle or a little bar, a little thing of chocolates or whatever. Not saying that those are bad, but instead of buying those things, they use the money, whether it be $500 or $1,000, whatever, and donated that to the charity in people's names. And they put that at the bottom of their menu card. So when you got there, it was like the wedding of John and Sally. Here's your menu. Here's the agenda. At the bottom, it said, in lieu of favors, we have made a donation in your name to the whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I thought that was fun. I had not seen that. That was it was probably a couple years ago when I saw that at a wedding, but I thought it was really neat. I thought it was a good touch.
Yeah, I'm
all about giving back to the less fortunate. So my last one, I think, maybe I have several over here because I'm stealing them from our friends at the Knot. You're gonna laugh. Mine is a cheese hour.
Cheese hour.
Everybody's thinking, wow, what's a cheese hour? Well, it's the same as a cocktail hour. And maybe in lieu of cocktails or in addition to cocktails, you have loads of cheese, charcuterie, nuts, breads, and all of that stuff. I don't know if you've been sleeping since 2019, but charcuterie is where it's at. Are you a charcuterie fan? You don't know?
I've not been around since 2019. I guess.
He's been sleeping. So charcuterie, for those of you that don't know, is like basically an elevated cheese and meat board. You know, salamis and prosciuttos and blue cheese and Gouda and just all kinds of things. And then usually there's, you know, some sort of like a fruit jam on there. There's honey, nuts, olives. Ugh, I hate olives. But homemade breads, crackers, things like that. And it's just like the thing. I mean, we're right now podcasting on a table that's what? Is this 4 foot?
50, yeah.
4 foot. Like filling this thing up with like meats and cheeses and whatever, having your guests mix and mingle, but then they can come over and help themselves. I think that is awesome. Yeah. I love anything with food. So
that's cool.
I mean, I do, you know, a lot of catering and stuff for a living. I think that's fun. And to call it a cheese hour, how fun would that be to say instead of on your, you know, on your invitation or your minister at the end of the ceremony, instead of saying, join us at 5:30 at this and this reception hall for cocktail hour, they can say, join us at this and this reception hall for cheese hour.
I love that.
That is fun and unique. I love that.
That is something
I'm like fired up right now. I'm yelling because I'm so pumped about this cheese right now.
Maybe maybe we can fill up this inner circle.
Oh my gosh, we could have charcuterie every week. Wow.
If you would watch The Office, I could make a reference there,
but I don't watch The Office, so everybody out there, go ahead and judge me.
So if you
I do watch a show that I've heard is like The Office, but I don't know if I can say the name of it on air because we might get edited for it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Creek.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's funny. I'm not going to say what it's called because, again, we are family friendly. And though it is not spelled the same, it is meant the same, and I'm not saying it.
Yeah. No.
Moving on.
If you're an Office fan, it would be like the Finer Things Club when Pam and Toby and, was it Oscar, had their little club, and they would get together during lunch hour and kind of have like it was like a book club, but they would like celebrate the finer things of life. And they had,
you know, I could be the #1 member of that. I think that sounds fun.
Well, you could if you watched it.
If I watched guys, one day I'm gonna find the time and I'm gonna watch The Office. But until then, you're just gonna have to talk about it with Stefan.
So I kind of
fun fact. We're getting ready to release some fun facts about ourselves. So stay tuned to our Facebook page, and you will find that soon.
So my last one kind of changed, but it is photography related because
of course.
I've seen this even over the years kind of going this direction. And of course it depends on your personalities and what you like and stuff, but kind of their label here is next level engagement sessions.
Next level. Do you have to yell that when you say it?
I think so.
Next level engagement sessions.
Yeah, you gotta have like the old school, the 90s toy announcer. Next level.
We're getting next level.
Pow, pow, pow.
Wow, we should be voiceover people. Just kidding.
So, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's pretty much destination engagement sessions, incorporating any kind of cultural traditions that you might have if you're
of a different culture. Coming from two of the whitest people ever.
Yeah. But
with cultural friends. So yeah.
I've had some of that, even where they incorporated some of the dress into it. And,
I think that is so cool.
Yeah.
Mostly because, you know, again, we are two of the whitest people ever, and we don't come from anything like that. I mean, obviously we have heritage, but I love when people embrace that stuff. I think that is so cool. I've always wanted to go to, I think it's Indian faith wedding where it's like 3 or 4 days.
Oh,
and they like parade in the streets. I want to go to that so bad. I just think that is so cool.
I really want to photograph one of those because it's very colorful and those are so much all about the details.
Yes.
I love it.
Like the henna on the oh my gosh, I'm like getting pumped up now.
Yeah, that's
cheese boards and Indian weddings get me going.
But yeah, I think even having a little fun with your engagement session, because I think a lot of times people view engagement sessions as like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And I feel like I don't just have fun with it and make it an experience.
Yeah.
Like, don't treat it like, well, these are just pictures that we have to take. I mean, these are how it's just it can be a really cool experience if you let it
out of the box.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
And that is one thing I do a lot. And for me, it's a lot of St. Louis, Chicago, because those are a little more local and easier to travel to. But a lot of people do that, just going to the city, and then they spend time in the city and
make it like a date day.
Yeah. And so it's fun. And
one of my favorite sessions that Stefan's done is, because I just know mostly about it because it was a couple that I did their wedding. They did an ice cream store. And this is going to sound really basic now, but this was probably 4 years ago.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah, probably 4 now.
And they went to an ice cream, like an old vintagey looking ice cream shop. I mean, down to that they had the heart-shaped wired chairs. I mean, I just will never forget it. And the pictures are like the ice cream is melting and like, you know, he's kind of helping her and she's kind of helping him and they're laughing. And it's one of my favorite sessions you've ever done. Yep. But it's because at the time, which you see more and more of that now, but at the time, that wasn't big around here for sure. And so that's the kind of stuff. And they chose that because they both love ice cream, you know, so that's just kind of fun things that you can.
Yeah, that was and I think that even with that in mind, like it doesn't have to be a destination, which that one was St. Louis. Yeah. But, it doesn't have to be a destination. It can just be something that's special to you.
Yes.
Like I had one, it was in Starbucks at Effingham.
That is my dream.
I mean, that's where their first date was. And
you did one at Taco Bell too.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, that just incorporating stuff that's not so traditional engagement pictures. And it's just fun to look at those pictures. I think it's the same reason why I do lifestyle family pictures. Yeah. Especially during winter, doing them inside. It's just, they're just more fun to look at than just here's everybody smiling at the camera. Okay, moving on.
Yay. Yeah. More like interactive, holding the baby inside in the baby's room. And, you know, I like that too. Stefan, will you do an engagement session for me one day with a charcuterie board?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That'd be kind of weird, but it would be kind of cool.
Just cheese everywhere.
Here we are.
We can go to Greenville and we
can go to Marcoot.
Yeah. Just have them stack the cheese.
Yes, I love it. All right, I'm in. So hopefully you've got some ideas for your upcoming wedding. Even if you're not getting married in 2020, maybe you're getting married in 2021. I still think some of the trends will be around. Though we say they change quickly, they tend to stay around for a little while. Like I remember 10 years ago, mason jars were the thing. Everybody wanted burlap and mason jars, and I feel like we're just now getting rid of that, and that was 10 years ago. So, you know, was it cool 10 years ago? Not really in my opinion, but I know a lot of people really loved it, and a lot of people made really beautiful weddings happen with those things. But that's one thing that I think, okay, I think we're done now. Yep. It's done.
Yeah, I've not seen that. Oh, no. Couple years ago now.
Yeah, I was like, I think I saw one like maybe not this past year, but the year before. Yeah. So I think it's finally transitioning out. Yep. So, you know, trends do tend to stay a while, but there's just always some that are going to be thrown at you. So check out our friends at the Knot or Wedding Wire for some of these. Stefan also has a blog that he just wrote that we did share on our Facebook page. But we are a wedding podcast. We post new episodes every Friday. Right? Are we changing to Fridays?
I think we are now.
Okay, we're changing to Fridays. I just made that up.
It hit me last time as we were saying it for last episode. I was like, Friday. I thought we did Thursdays, but I like Friday.
We used to do Thursdays, but now we do Fridays.
Well, they almost always went on Friday because I was always late.
That's true. So we do go live every Friday. We post new videos and episodes. I can't talk. Every Friday. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, A Wedding Podcast. And then how do they find us on the other places?
YouTube, if you search A Wedding Podcast. Yeah. If you search Katie and Stefan, A Wedding Podcast, you will find us very quickly. But
big blue logo.
Yeah. For now. It might turn
For now, it might
white
be changing.
or black. Yeah. Who knows? But
and we went away.
No.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how to work any of that stuff.
I don't know how we ended there.
So you can find us anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, which is where?
Spotify, iTunes, Katie and Stefan, a wedding podcast.
Yes, and then we are also on YouTube, which Stefan kind of explained earlier. Katie and Stefan, a wedding podcast. We have videos up there, things like that, and more content to come.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.